The trans-species kids. You see that one?
What is that?
Wait, what was the trans-species kid? Wasn't it the lady that was getting a tax credit or something for that her daughter identifies as a cat?
Scooby-Doo. Dooby-doo-doo. Ready?
Yeah, whenever.
Oh crap! I was a little early on that.
Oh, I know you were way early. I just noticed. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Uncanceled Culture. This is a podcast, if y'all didn't know.
If y'all don't remember.
Yeah, since it's been, 2 years now that we've been back? It always ends up being about that. What's up, everybody? How's your Thanksgiving?
It was alright.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it really?
I didn't overeat. I was in the hospital, so by the time I got out, and I couldn't really eat too much, man.
There's always a story. This dude always has a story.
Dude, I was in the ER twice, bro, in like 4 days. What the heck, man?
Well, we keep texting him.
Louis, we got your room safe for you over here.
He's racking up those points. I tell you.
I swear, I walked in and they were like, "You just in here?" Yeah.
We gave you your release forms. What are you doing back?
It's like a revolving door, right? It just goes round and round.
Hey, well, speaking of, I got a call from the hospital yesterday.
Oh, you owe us $47,000.
They were like, "Hey, we're just calling about the balance. Wanted to see if you wanted to make a payment today."
Already?
I'm like, "What? The balance for what?" They were like, "Oh, you're when you came in October 23rd, the day of the accident."
Oh.
I was like, "What's the balance?" It was like 5,000 something, whatever. And I'm like, "No, man." I said, "We're going through our attorney." And oh, well, okay. Do you want to take this information down? I said, "No. Why don't you call my attorney?" Well, we don't. This is what they tell me. We don't make outgoing calls. We can receive them. I'm like, wait. You just called me. What do you mean you don't make outgoing calls? Well, I'm not going to get information. Well, I'm not going to get your information either then. I said, you deal with my attorney later then. Get the hell out of here. We don't make outgoing calls. Wait,
we don't
call me.
We don't call people. Sorry,
Yeah, I was like, what the hell? Get out of here.
I like how they say, like, "Oh, it's only 5,000." Yeah, like I'm gonna pay that right up front.
Do you take big bills or do you take, because I got a lot of
You got
change.
change for 100.
I got a lot of change.
I was like, y'all are ridiculous, man.
So, I don't know. Do you want to go into your little thing or is that too personal?
Nah,
We don't have to.
I mean,
we
bro,
don't have
like,
to.
really-
We can move right on.
Honestly, what happened, man, last Monday, I went in for my therapy, and the chiropractor gave me an adjustment, and when he popped my neck, I was fine, but it felt like I had a strain, like on my neck, right? Ooh. Later on that evening, I started getting a headache, like a migraine, and I've never had migraines ever. I felt like I was getting one. I was like, what the heck, man? Let it go. Tuesday got up, man. My body was burning, like I had a fever. Man, I felt ugly and getting those headaches, and so I was like, you know what, man? I'm not gonna do anything. I'm gonna stay home. Felt like that for a few days, so finally I ended up going to the ER Thursday because it never went away. I thought it would go away. Never went away. Body hot. Get there, and they're like, well, your temperature is 98.9. And I'm like, well, feel my body. And they're touching me. They're like, you're burning. Like if you have a fever, but you have no fever.
What does that mean?
So they're saying that when I got the adjustment, it loosened something in my head. So they're like, what you're having is reoccurring symptoms from your concussion. What? So something triggered it, kind of like a PTSD type thing. Like, so something triggered it. And I was like, 3 weeks later? And they're like, dude, you can get this 6 months later.
What
like anything can happen. Anything can trigger it and you get those effects again. So I was in there Thursday to Friday, got out. Saturday, now I'm having pains in my stomach and my back.
Yeah.
So I go in, they're like, oh, well, your flare-up that you were having from the accident still hasn't gone away from your stomach, from your diverticulosis and your Crohn's and all that. So I was having another flare-up, I guess. So there I was all Saturday. Sunday come out, and I'm like, dude, I'm done with hospitals. Then it's Thanksgiving week, and we're trying to do all this stuff, man. I'm like, bro, I just want to relax, man. I didn't want to do nothing. So, yeah, dude, it was horrible, man. So I'm waiting to see what those bills look like.
So you were in the hospital Thanksgiving Day?
No, I wasn't there.
Was a week before,
the Thursday before,
right,
to Sunday, basically. And then just recovering the rest of the week, man.
Don't matter what day you're in there, because the price is still gonna be the same.
Yeah, exactly.
They're gonna come looking for.
I know, but it's crazy how they tell them the price to the emergency bill, and all of a sudden the CEO from United Healthcare dies today.
Coincidence?
Yeah, Cranky brought that up earlier about the John Q.
Was it a John Q thing?
the John
Damn.
Q thing. Oh man, dog, just relax a little. Relax. We don't need to.
$5,000.
Sir, put the gun away, please, sir. We don't need a John Q situation here in San Antonio.
Oh man.
Well, that's good. Cranky, how was your Thanksgiving? Good.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I was the only one not drinking that day, surprisingly.
What?
Really?
No, man. Well, because I had to work the next day, so.
Oh, that's right. Because we were supposed to record.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's do it early. No, we can't. Cranky's working. Oh, he's the only one working? Oh, man.
Well, I was probably barely going to sleep or waking up. I don't know, man. I was out of it, bro.
Well, next time now we got these little mics, I'll just take one of these with me. Excuse myself to the restroom.
Or I can do that from the hospital bed.
Yeah. Live from Methodist Hospital on the 12th floor. So what they're talking about is I hopped on the TikTok train, and everybody was going crazy about these microphones. Lavalier, I think it's called Lavalier or whatever. So they're little microphones. You plug them into your phone, and then there's two microphones, and I think it would be pretty cool to have it, if we ever decide to actually go somewhere, and maybe we don't need to take all the equipment. We could just take this, and we could just talk to, like John.
Yeah, I was just gonna
Like
say that.
John.
I was just gonna say that. Now John doesn't have to come to us. We can go to
you,
John. Yes,
we can go to you.
John, we were outside your door. Obviously, you're not here today. I don't know where you're at.
Looks like we missed you again, sir. I'm
Just
sorry.
want to give us a heads up.
He's gonna be all mad. He goes, "You don't have a phone? You can't text?" But yeah, so I got these little microphones. So it'd be pretty cool, like if we ever really decide to go on location and ask people questions or whatever. I mean, it could be. I'm trying to get somebody to take this to a party, but
I'll take it.
you don't want to.
Start asking questions.
Start asking just weird questions. What is your social?
What is your PIN number? Right next to the ATM.
Is this your card?
Hey, so speaking of, I was watching the news this morning, and they're talking about scammers, right? And how people are calling doing scams.
Yeah.
Well, Sabrina mentions, they're probably calling stupid people, right? Yeah, I get it. Then they are. But
It could be anybody.
it could be anybody. And the person that they interview is this old lady.
Of course.
And she's like, they called me from CPS.
Gullible.
And they had all my information. And they had my bill and my address. And they had everything. And, they asked for my social. I gave it to them. My date of birth. And then they said they were going to disconnect today if I didn't make a payment. So I had to go to the store and buy gift cards and pay with a gift card.
Yeah, but then you pay. You go up to the payment place. They're gonna be like, "You don't know what's nothing."
No.
Right.
She had to do the payment over the phone with them using her gift cards.
Fuck
I
that
think,
shit.
and I think it kind of sounded like this. You owe us like $2,700.
Hold on.
You must pay us right now, and we will turn your power back
So
on.
get this, the person that comes out and is talking about it, right? And Sabrina got all mad at me because she said I was racist. The guy that's talking about it, he's saying, look, this is the week and the weeks leading up to all the scammers are going to be hitting people up, right? He goes, 1 out of every 3 Americans is going to be hit or they're going to be targeted. And I was like, well, first of all, I mean, you're doing the research and you're talking about it here. Isn't it 1 in 3 people? Does it have to be Americans? I mean, it's 1 in 3 people, right? And so Sabrina's like, well, there's African Americans, there's Indian Americans, and I'm like, no.
You don't know. You don't.
But it's still here. So isn't it 1 in 3 people? It doesn't matter if they were Americans or not. And the guy, of course, has something Habib, something, whatever. And I'm like, bro. And of course, it was a racist comment. It wasn't racist,
No.
but it was directed. I said, well, your people calling us. You know, my name's Tom. No, it's not Tom. I know it's not.
Thank you.
And then literally I get a call. I get a call like not even 5 minutes later. I'm looking for the homeowner. I'm like, no, bro. Like, no, dude, no. We're not doing this, man. I just hung up.
Hey, wrong number because we don't own this house.
I just hung up. I was like, no, man. I just hung up. I was like, there you go. There we go. And his name was Dave.
Hey, Dave.
I'm like,
Dave's
Thomas?
not here.
Dave's not here.
I'm like, Thomas?
That's what we should have told him. Dave's not here.
Dave's not here.
The owner or what? The founder of Wendy's?
Bob.
Yeah.
Starts with a B. Ends with a B. I actually got a text message today. It said, your package could not be
Yes.
delivered because of some routing issue. and
USPS?
Please, yeah.
I
And
get those all
please
the time.
update your address. Please click this link.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, they want my social? Oh, okay.
So the kids, dude, one of the kids got a message and they couldn't log into their Instagram. And it was like, oh, you got to click this link. You got to do this. And they start doing it. And Sabrina randomly grabbed their phone. Don't be touching
my
anything.
God.
Look, log out, log in. There you go.
Don't touch that dial.
I was like, man, they know who to target, man.
Well, I mean, and I don't even think it's a target because they could text whoever, dude. And you know, most people know better. But then you get those people that are just way gullible, and they're like, well, just like that thing. Like, well, you know, if I don't pay him $5,000, my nephew's gonna go to jail,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
or I can't get him out of jail. I gotta pay it. But yeah, I don't think it's. I don't think they're preying on people.
I work for Uber. I'm here to pick up a package.
Pew pew. Oh, that sucks, dude. That's bad. Oh, but yeah, well, now is the time, like you said. I mean, it's Christmas, dude.
Yeah.
They're gonna try
They're
different
gonna-
things.
holiday season, man, they hit everybody up.
Porch pirates.
Yeah.
The porch pirates are gonna be going like crazy, dude. We have packages. I mean, we've had about 20 packages come within the last 3 days.
Yeah.
It's just fucking crazy.
Well, yeah. I know the problem with this one here.
Whoa.
You know, every time my doorbell ring goes off and I'm like, another package. And then while we're here, she hears something and right away she runs to the door because we have our what do you call that thing? Gingerbread person out there.
Yeah.
And so she wants to make sure nobody's stealing it. And I'm like,
Oh, forget the package. They're stealing Louis, but is my gingerbread man still out there? Okay, we're good.
dude, they literally hit all those because we live in a neighborhood where they have the mailboxes out on the
Oh, yeah.
on the streets,
Yeah.
the
All together.
all together.
Yeah.
And I've been seeing them a lot of times opened, so people are hitting them and just popping them open and taking whatever's in there, man. So, yeah, bro. I mean, you expect
Bill.
exactly.
No, jury duty. Well, I guess.
How was your
it's-
Thanksgiving?
it's- Oh, mine? It was all right, man. You know what I was really disappointed in? Maker's Mark pumpkin pies, which are from Sam's, I believe.
Oh,
Not Costco. Sam's.
yeah. I was like,
That-
Maker's
those
Mark. I was like, man,
fucking-
they make. Yeah,
They make
I was
everything,
like, whiskey
dude.
made a pie.
Make it with,
Is it bourbon or whiskey?
no, is it it's Maker's Mark?
Oh, it's the
Sam's
yeah,
thing.
yeah, the Maker's Mark.
Yeah. I was very disappointed in that. I don't know. I guess they mailed it in this year because their pies really sucked. The
Really?
apple and the pumpkin. So I waited all year long just to have a piece of pumpkin pie, and it sucked, dude. It sucked balls. But other than that, my Thanksgiving was okay. I was gonna drink that night too, and then I decided not to. Oh, because I decided to save it till today. Yay! So what do you guys think about? Okay, we'll dive into a little sports real quick. So, are quarterbacks protected too much in the NFL?
I think so. To a certain
Yes
extent.
or no?
I think so. Yeah.
Cranky?
I think so. On certain.
I think there's too many rules.
Well, of course, the reason I bring it up is because of what happened with Trevor Lawrence and the guy from the Texans. I don't remember his name.
Azir.
He pummels the guy. Okay. And did you guys see what's that guy from ESPN? He used to be a lineman of some sort.
Schlereth. Mark Schlereth.
Mike Schlereth, yeah.
Schlereth.
So he's defending.
Yeah, he was defending the
him
linebacker.
because
yeah,
of how it was, and it's kind of true, man. Because
it was a late slide.
it was a late slide, and then think about like the dude from college. Remember that quarterback from college?
Yeah, the one
that he got a
from
lot
Pickett,
of
the one
shit
that
because
tried to fake slide.
He was gonna
Yes.
fake slide,
Pickett,
and then
right?
he
Or
kept
was it
running.
Pickett?
Yeah.
Pickett.
So he was gonna fake. He was
Yeah.
gonna slide,
And
but he
Mahomes does that all the
faked,
time,
and
too.
So fuck Mahomes, dude. Fuck that.
Oh,
dude.
calm down.
I hate Kansas City too. Anyway,
Me too, but he's my last quarterback standing in my league, so I need him to win.
I sure hope Kermit the Frog gets hurt. Maybe he'll break a leg. I'm sure Josh
What-
will be happy about that too. Pew, pew.
Wow. Shots fired. What I don't like is all the different rules where it's like you can't hit him high, you can't hit him low, you can't slam him to the ground. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff, right?
You can't drive him to the ground.
You can't drive him to
Yeah,
the ground.
yeah.
You got it basically two-hand touch, but yet that's why you have all these highlights where they're escaping tackles and doing all this and then throwing a bomb because
Well,
they're trying to take them down, but gently. It's not gonna work, man. Especially when you have somebody like Lamar, or you have somebody, bigger quarterbacks,
Yeah.
that are gonna get away, or athletic. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think there's just too many rules now. What I feel is that once they leave the pocket, they're a runner.
Well, that's what he was saying too.
They're
right?
a runner.
That's what
now
he
I
was
get
saying.
the whole slide thing, but even the defensive coach is saying like, bro, we're trying to stop him from getting the first down.
Yeah.
And he's sliding right at the first down marker, so we're trying to
Right.
not let him get there. What are you supposed to do? Just let
Just
him?
let him do it, right?
No. So I think they need to revisit that. I mean, yeah, I get that they're trying to protect the quarterback, but if the quarterback leaves the pocket and he's a runner, he's a runner.
Yeah.
That's it.
But
Bottom line.
I think it has to do more with the fact that the dude threw an elbow at his head. You could see him throw the elbow.
He
like
did.
That. Maybe he was trying to draw the ball loose and he missed.
You know what? I think it was targeting.
He aimed
right?
for his head
It was
instead.
targeting. It was targeting. However, for targeting, you get an ejection, right? But why is he suspended 3 games?
Because they say he already has a bad rep. They were talking
Does
about.
he really?
They were talking about how he threw a punch at somebody a couple weeks ago in one other game, and then another two other incidents.
So he's the Draymond Green
Yeah, he's the
of the
Draymond Green.
NFL. Okay.
You're gonna have to change the name to Draymond Green. But oh man, sorry, I burped, and I hope you don't smell that. 'Cause Jesus, man, woo. I'm biased, of course, being a Texans fan. and when I first saw it, I figured, well, yeah, it was kind of bad. But I'm going along with the fact that why are they protected? They should be protected in the pocket. But once they leave the guard or tackle,
Once they're able
box-
to get to the outside and throw the ball away, then they've already gotten out of the pocket.
because
There's
now you've got that shit because Kermit up there was doing it too, where he's getting up to the line and he does that fake, right?
Yeah.
He does that fake because he knows where the line is, so he does that fake or he keeps running or whatever.
Well, he's gotten a lot of penalties as he's going out of bounds because he gets hit as he's going out of bounds, right? So what does he do? He uses that to his advantage. He's running out of bounds, like he's gonna run out of bounds and stops, and everybody runs past him, and then he keeps running.
Yeah.
Because nobody's gonna hit him.
Nobody wants to really do anything to
so
him.
it's one of those where it's like, dude, is he a runner? He's a runner. Then hit him. I don't know.
That's what I think, man.
Lay him out.
We used to play.
I'd rather
this was
him
back in the day.
I'd rather them hit him and him want to stay in the pocket because it'll get me more points because he's throwing the ball. But whatever.
I don't care. Break his neck. He must go down, and he must go down hard. That's what
Bounty
I'm saying.
Gate, man, part 2.
Downey.
Bounty.
Oh yeah. Dude, I was kind of scared for what's his name too. The rest of the game, I'm like, fuck, they're gonna be going after him, dude. I was like, shit, he's gonna get hurt. He's gonna break a leg or something. I don't know. I really thought they were gonna go after him. So Current events in San Antonio, man. What do we got going on in San Antonio?
Got a lot, bro. A lot.
Well, there's a couple of things that we missed, but more recently there was the unfortunate murder last night at Twin Peaks.
It wasn't last night. Was it
last night?
It was last week.
Last week.
It was last week.
It was last week. They caught the guy yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's why I don't watch. I don't watch news anymore.
Apparently, so it was the guy was walking out of Twin Peaks, him and his crew. And I guess he had a girl, right?
Yeah.
His wife or-
So they were walking out, and he observed somebody breaking into his vehicle. I guess approached them, and they shot at them. Ends up hitting him. I think it grazed the girl, right?
Grazed the girl.
Grazed the girl.
The same bullet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
bullet.
but hit him and ends up killing him. They couldn't find the people or whatever. Yesterday they made an arrest. It was a 17-year-old that was involved in the trying to
Was he an Edgar?
well, you know what? He kind of looked like it. He kind of looked like that. But you know what? What 17-year-old isn't? Right nowadays, man.
I drove by McCullum and it was like Edgar. They all look the same, dude.
Yeah,
they all look the same. So I mean, well, yeah. So that happened. What else major has been going on? I'm sorry to say that after the election, I stopped watching the news, so I haven't really seen anything. So I don't know what's going on.
Well, the majors. What we're talking about the United Healthcare dude. You know.
Yeah, that one just happened today.
Which is
That one just happened
interesting.
today.
So they don't. What information has come out about it? Because I mean, could it be a John
Where was
Q
it at?
situation
In New York.
in New York.
He was
but
coming
he's not
out of
from
a
New York.
He's not from New York.
He's
was
from
coming
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
He was coming out of a hotel.
Yeah. So they do say it looked like it was a targeted event, right?
Really?
He was targeted. They show the video of the guy coming behind him, and the guy has a silencer on his gun. Yeah, and shoots him multiple times, ends up killing him right there, and then takes off into a park.
An alleyway. He took off into an alleyway and then
Went through the park, yeah.
and then disappeared.
Now they did find some stuff like a gum wrapper, a water bottle, and something else that they think are from the shooter while he was out there waiting for this guy to come out.
Oh yeah.
So that's one. Two, they're looking through all the surveillance footage around to see if they spot him without the mask, because in the video he has a mask on. So of course it's an ongoing. It just happened, but they're reaching out to the family to see if he had any threats.
Yeah.
Anybody that hated him, things that were going on. So there's a lot.
Somebody didn't want to pay their hospital bill.
Wink, wink.
$5,000.
Well, we always got to give some context. So if you don't know the movie John Q, which is with Denzel Washington,
Yeah.
And Cranky was, like I said earlier, Cranky was the one that brought it up. So his son is sick,
Yeah, it needs a heart transplant.
and basically because of the insurance,
Yes.
it's not going to cover because it's a pre-existing condition or whatever condition it was. They weren't going to cover it. So basically, he wasn't going to have.
Well, he was poor too, so
Yeah. Or he wasn't. They weren't going to cover because he wasn't getting that many hours on the job. So
Yeah.
they weren't considering him a full-time employee.
yes.
So his insurance wasn't going to cover it.
So
Correct.
they weren't gonna cover it.
I mean, he felt because he was black, but I don't know. But he had issues. They weren't going to be able to cover it. He wasn't going to be able to pay it. Then when they finally do get him on the list, he's like further down on the list.
He never gets on the list.
Yeah, he does get put on the list at the end.
At the end, but that's
Yeah.
after he already went to the.
Well, that's when he was gonna.
He already went and took everybody hostage.
Yeah, he was gonna shoot himself and take my heart and all this. Yeah. So.
All
But
that means that he
but it
don't watch
wasn't
that.
me. It wasn't me. I haven't been to New York.
It wasn't John Liu.
Yeah.
It was John Q.
Yeah, it wasn't me. It wasn't me, guys.
Well, the interesting thing that we talked about a couple of weeks, and we're going all over the place. Yes, Roger. But
Who lives in New York, by the way?
Yeah. Coincidence?
Who's your healthcare plan with?
And I don't have United Health. That's the other thing. So
I do.
now, if it would have been Blue Cross, Blue Shield, then we would have had a story. But it's not. It's not.
I'm way off. I have Aetna. But so we had talked about it. So we'd been off for 2 weeks, but we were talking about, I'm the one that showed it to them. I don't think y'all had seen it. Maybe you had, but I wasn't sure. But the inmates
Yes.
in none other than, was it in Florida? It was in Florida, right? I thought it was.
The one that got pregnant?
Yeah.
Yes. So it was the Immaculate Conception
Yeah.
of sorts.
It's a miracle baby.
A miracle baby that happened. Now,
It was in Miami.
it was Miami. I
Yep.
thought it was in Florida. I thought
South
so.
Florida, yep.
So, just to go back a little bit, so there's those shows. I forget what they're called, but when they have the county lockup,
Yeah.
those shows where they show
yeah.
like the conditions and how they are, and even in those shows, they would show how they would pass messages or pass.
Or like the
Whatever.
60 days in
Like-
and all that. Yeah.
Right, yeah. So they would the piping for the pooper.
Piping, no,
Yeah.
no pun intended.
So they're all connected, right?
Yeah.
So one toilet bowl from one floor is connected to the same toilet bowl on the very like underneath on
Yeah.
the next floor, but no below it.
Yeah.
So they found ways to clear the shit out, right? To clear the water out, and they'll find shoestrings or whatever, and that's how they would pass notes or contraband or
Yes.
whatever in those pipes. And it could be guys, it could be women, it could be whatever. So, and that's why I bring this up, because these people were in the same jail.
Yeah.
And apparently they found each other. I don't know how the hell they found each other.
So they were talking about that. There's AC vents, right?
Did they just start talking?
Yeah. So they would knock and you could hear people from other floors.
Right.
So they started just having a conversation and realized that they were both locked up for murder.
For murder.
Both of them. And they probably weren't going to be coming out anytime soon. And this guy just kind of has a like, hey, I really want to be a father and I'm not going to be able to have that opportunity. So starts shooting his shot, basically, right? Pun intended, because he does shoot a shot.
Into the dirty sock or whatever
So
it was that he I don't know.
No, so what he starts doing is they're having this conversation. Then they start passing notes. So where she's at and where he's at, the vent literally lands right there.
Yeah.
So they were directly like above each other.
Right.
And so then, of course, they created like a line. So they were passing things back and forth, notes and stuff. Well, what ends up happening is he ends up talking her into, hey, I want to have a kid. So she says, okay, let's do it. So never seen each other.
Nope.
Just
No.
decided he starts getting his sperm and putting it in a saran wrap,
Right.
rolling it up like kind of like a cigarette, and he would make his deposit, right? Give the line, and
I like the puns.
yeah,
I love the puns.
and he would send it down to her. She would get them, and then she would use a what the women use for like yeast infections.
Yeah.
So
the little
so
plastic
those.
part.
So he was using those to insert it, and she says it only took her like 4 times, and she ended up being pregnant. So of course the family's like trying to figure out like how did this happen? Well, they do the DNA test. The DNA test comes back to this guy who's another inmate, and they realize
Who
this
she's
is what's been going on.
Never met.
Who she's never met.
and now is having a baby.
Yep. And
for
had the baby.
2 people that will never get out of jail.
Yeah. Had the baby. And this happened, I think, back like in January.
Oh, nah, that's a fire.
We got a pyro over here.
So man, let's, that in itself is just absolutely, it's outrageous.
Yeah.
It's bonkers that, they went to that length. For what? Like, for what? Like, they didn't even enjoy each other, for one.
No, yeah, they're never gonna see the kid.
What is the kid gonna do?
You're never gonna see the kid.
How is the kid gonna be? What are they gonna do with him?
So the baby is 5 months old and living with the guy's mom, who became a grandmother for the first time. So they've actually also been separated. So now they're in different jails. But yet they talk on the phone, and then they do video visits with the baby.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Is that only in Florida? Like, 'cause where else could that happen? And just think of how many other people are that are
gonna
in
try
jail and they're gonna try and do that.
Yeah.
They're gonna try different ways to do that shit. It's crazy. I was thinking about, when you really think about it, like think about the kid. Like, how's a kid gonna? He's never gonna be able to touch his parents. He's never gonna be able to see his parents. I mean, he'll see them, but
Well, and I wonder. I don't know if it's like that in all states, and I don't know. Sabrina knows, but if the baby is gonna be adopted by the grandmother, because technically the parents are in jail, right? So if the baby's adopted, I know, like here in Texas, when the kids are adopted, they get money. They get money. So the grandmother would get money, one, and then two, like here in Texas, the kid automatically gets
free
college education.
But that's the way it's been like that for a while. For a long
but
time.
I'm wondering, is that like that in other states? I don't know. Right?
I don't know either.
I know. I don't know. It's just
I do know that. I know that they do have free school. Like as soon as they graduate, they get to go to any college they want.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
well, I mean, my son's siblings, because they got adopted because they were taken away from their. What would you say? Their mom.
Careful. Careful.
So they got free education.
Yeah.
So, and and the grandmother was getting money until they turned 18. So
Oh yeah.
yeah. So
Well, that's very interesting situation,
Yeah.
sir.
but that was pretty crazy.
Well, we're waiting 2 weeks, 2 weeks to talk about that shit.
And they also have those programs, right? They have those programs like those angel trees. So now the kid's gonna be getting presents because their parents are locked up,
Set them up better than some of our kids.
right?
I was gonna go sign up for one. I don't care.
We've done it. We've done
Sir.
it before. We've done those.
How much do you make, sir? That doesn't matter. I'm gonna get the kids presents or not? Come on. Oh man.
Yeah,
that's
some
crazy.
Crazy stuff.
Well, since we're talking about jail and being incarcerated, Louis' dumbass brother-in-law sent us this video about what they have in jail now called the Glock Dookie.
Yes.
The Glock Dookie. So go ahead,
All
man.
right. So people are more afraid of the Glock Dookie than they are of getting shanked or getting in a fight in jail. Because the Glock Dookie, what it is the inmates get like a plastic water bottle, right?
Okay.
After they empty it out, whether they drink the water or they empty it out, whatever they do, they start putting stuff in it. They start putting urine in it. They start putting their own like crap in it. They start putting semen, like whatever they can put in it, they put in it, and they leave it there in their cell, right? Just chilling. And when there's a situation going on, there's beef, there's a fight, there's whatever, they pull these things out and start spraying each other with it. And so now people are like, dude, I'd rather just get shot than be hit with who knows what kind of bacteria, what they have and what I'm getting. And like, so that's what a Glock Dookie is, man. The heck? That's some crazy
Can you
stuff.
just check me with that toothbrush, please? Like Glock Dookie. Who came up with that name? Glock Dookie.
I know, man.
It must be an inmate thing.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Imagine when that phrase starts getting around and what out in the real world.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yep. I'm telling you, man. The things people come up with nowadays.
You think that a kid would have probably come up with that shit too?
You probably get
Dookie.
you probably get all these damn diseases, but because you're wearing a mask, you don't have COVID.
Bazinga.
Oh my goodness.
shit.
What else happened in San Antonio? What other things? There was another couple major things that happened.
Well, luckily that didn't happen in San Antonio.
I don't
know what
happened there.
Shit.
Yeah.
Get it? Shit.
Shit.
I'm joking.
Yeah.
They indicted Brad Simpson.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So he finally got indicted. Brad Simpson, the guy whose wife's missing.
Grand jury.
They finally indicted him. So Sabrina was saying, like, well, hadn't he already been charged? So yeah, there's a difference. When you're charged, you're arrested.
Okay.
When you're finally indicted is when you're finally now going to go in front of court and they're now going to do the preliminary hearings. They're going to do
Because-
to set the trial.
So they go in front of a what's called a grand jury.
yes.
And they present their findings to the grand jury, and the grand jury says no, they don't go to trial, or yes, they go to trial.
Correct.
So, and they said yes. So there you go.
What does a grand jury consist of?
Same thing. You get called in like normal, like
It's still a jury of your peers.
jury of your peers. Yeah. I think Cranky had an issue with the jury of the of your peers a couple of weeks ago. I think.
Yeah, a few weeks ago. Yeah, he wasn't happy with the jury of the peers thing.
Yeah, because it's just hard to convince. You know, it's not hard. I mean, it's easy to manipulate people that don't want to be in jury duty in the first place.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. You know, we never got around to talk, or maybe we did. I don't even remember. We didn't get around to talking about that, did we?
I don't know.
The jury thing, because I remember. I can't. I think I'm getting dementia, but this one time that I was on a jury trial, there was one girl that just was not interested, and she didn't even care. She was basically kind of like, "Can y'all just hurry up and so we can get out of here?" I'm like, "Really? Like, is that the way you're?" So I get why Cranky has those type of feelings about a jury of your peers, because exactly, like, the girl didn't care. She didn't care what happened to the dude. Oh, say guilty or not guilty. Like, I don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that is how do you say? That is an attorney's job to find if those people.
Yes.
And I'll tell you what. So, what happened was the judge didn't. Obviously there was no attorneys. I don't know. I guess they were just doing their stuff for the judge, and the judge basically said, "Okay, the first 12 people."
Really?
Yeah, first 12 people, and so I was part of it, right? So I was, they just picked them, and that was it. So if there, I don't remember there were attorneys, but they didn't get to ask questions. They didn't get to say, "Okay, I want to exclude that one. I want to exclude this," because it was at the precinct court.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it's small time,
Yeah.
But that's what happened. They just picked, okay, the first 12 people or whatever, those are going to be them. And yeah, that's exactly what happened. So there's a 2-alarm fire going on outside.
Let me show you something.
Fire Marshal Bill's going to be coming around. Oh, my God. So what's next? Dang. I'll take this out if you want. I just wanted to ask you. So if you could erase one past mistake, what would it be? Would you answer that?
If I could erase one past mistake, I mean, I've said that before. If I could erase one past mistake, I would have took high school more serious.
Yeah. I think sometimes I don't know, man. I feel the same way, because that would have been the only way. That would have been our ticket out, playing baseball, right? So if we didn't have the grades, well, we didn't. I mean, you might have. I know I didn't. I mean, I know mine were pretty, mediocre. So, but I think that's true, because had I pushed myself a little bit more, I mean, I probably might have been able to go somewhere, But the first thing they asked you, like when I went on that tryout in San Marcos with the Cincinnati Reds, and the Texas State coach was there, and his first question was, "How's your grades?" I was like,
What happened was,
see, sir. So
But
yeah,
why-
I
but-
agree with that.
but why if it was for a pro tryout?
Well, he was there. The Texas State coach was there.
So they were recruiting also.
So they were there, they were there
Yeah.
watching the kids.
Doing-
We're all high school
doing
kids.
scouting.
Yeah. So the reason Louis stepped out real quick, but the reason I asked him, I said, because it was one of those questions. I said, if you could erase one past mistake, what would it be?
Ooh.
And his answer was, take school more seriously. And that's why I was kind of agreeing with him, because, like, baseball would have been our ticket out.
Yeah.
He might have had a grade. I don't know. He probably did, but I didn't. I know
grades.
I didn't. I didn't have the grades at all. So that was the question that I.
I think mine would be, so I started going to college. I ended up missing an exam.
Oh yeah, we heard that story.
Yeah, and so then I don't go back, and that was it. So
Yeah.
I think finishing, you know what I mean, finishing school.
I mean that for me that's like it's the same thing.
Yeah.
I ended up going to college. I went to Our Lady of the Lake for 2 years, and all I did was play ping pong. And I withdrew from all my classes. Shush!
Sabrina's over there.
Quiet from the gallery. Shush. So I would go to this thing. It was called the UAC. So it was basically like the sports center
Yeah.
with the gym and everything. And I would be watching TV and playing ping pong all day. That's what I would do. Right?
You know, I remember going and visiting Johnny. One time he called me up and he's like, "Hey man, I'm over here at school." He was at UTSA at the downtown campus. And he tells me to go by over there, man. I go over there and there I am playing ping pong with him and freaking. I was like, "What the heck?"
I mean, I could have at least did something, you know. Like I
You
played
could've been
ping
like-
pong with my ping pong battles.
You could have been like Forrest Gump, man. Got a sponsorship.
Oh
dude.
man.
You know, I think when we ask that question, there's a lot of things, right, that come up to mind. That come in mind. You can think about relationships, right?
Too many.
Right. But I don't know, man. I think like every relationship kind of help mold you into what you are. And and then there are things that came out of some of the relationships that you don't.
I don't know, man. I never had a true relationship. I've always had situationships.
You've had a.
You was
What
the
did- what did Jada-
situation.
what did Jada call it?
You was the situation.
No, what did Jada call it? An entanglement.
an
You had
entanglement.
entanglements.
I had a lot of
A
entanglements.
lot of entanglements.
Oh my
I
goodness.
was all tangled in them sheets all time.
I was in an entanglement with a girl who didn't tell me she was married.
What?
And the dude she was married to was a big motherfucker. He could have pounded me to the ground in one little, you know.
Like in the cartoon?
Yes.
He was tiny. His name was Tiny, but he was 6'6", 350 pounds.
His name was only Mad Dog.
Oh my god. So there was other things we wanted to go over, but one of the
I guess that's the secret that I never told anybody.
Oh, there you go. Hey.
Oh no, there's another one, but I don't want to tell you that. One.
No. Never mind. He put the
Let's just say penicillin has something. I had to take penicillin.
Antibiotics.
It's Christmas time. Is it the gift that kept on giving?
So we just got a message from Roger. Did you see it?
Yes.
You say it. I saw it. Say
So
it, tell him.
he sends a message out and he says, "I just called a dude out for doing jale in the bathroom."
Halle.
That's not even calling somebody out, man. This is.
He says, "I was like, I can smell it, you know."
"How do you smell that crap?"
And the guy's like, "Smell what?" Then he wipes his nose. And Roger says, "I can smell the reason you're wiping your nose." And the guy's like, "Seriously? What the fuck?" And he's like, "Yeah." He goes, he asked if I was a cop and I told him no. So then he offered me some and I was like, "Nah, I'm good, man. Just be careful." What? So, okay. Roger, you're going to hear this. Why would you call him out? Unless you wanted some.
I just don't know how it's. I don't know how he could smell it.
I didn't know how he could smell it.
I mean,
Unless
there's a
he
you're in
heard
the
it.
restroom.
There,
You're
there's
obviously
okay,
smelling
first of all,
other stuff
yeah,
in
there.
like
Yeah.
there's a smell to it. There's a smell to it, but you're not gonna smell it from a stall away.
Exactly.
He must have heard him. You know,
Yeah, that's what it was. I think he heard him and not smelled
little
it.
I would have
sniff.
gave Roger the Glock Dookie. Smell this, motherfucker.
Oh my goodness.
Glock Dookie. But like, yeah, that's being Karenish.
It is
Like, why
being
call him
arrogant.
out?
Again, either one, you're, I don't know what, but two, unless you wanted some, why say anything? Why say anything?
Yeah.
Let the dude do his business, man. Like, if he's doing what he's doing, let him do what he's doing.
him
Unless
do
if
it.
it's bothering you,
I mean, how many times do we go to Stacy's sports bar and you would freaking just
they were right there in the open
yes
doing it.
They weren't even in the stall. But we wouldn't say nothing.
I mean, that happens now everywhere. Like, and you just walk in, they're like, well, do what you're doing, man. I don't care. I'm coming to the bathroom. I'm coming out. Like, that's it.
Do you remember that we were at Joe's Volcano that one time?
Yes.
And we were just there, and all of a sudden the bartender, not the bartenders, the
Bouncer?
what are they called? The bouncers and all, and the owner or some shit. They just burst through the door, and then they like smashed down one of the stall doors, and apparently the dude was, I don't know how they knew, but apparently the dude was doing jale in there too. And they yanked him out of there, dude. But it was like freaked out because we're like, what the fuck is he? They just broke the door down and grabbed him and yanked him out of there. But I guess he was doing it unless he had.
Somebody
know,
had
man.
to have said something, bro.
Somebody said something, dude. So, question: Have
Well,
you
Sabrina,
had-
hold on. Do you have a mistake that you wish you would change?
Yeah, he's sitting right here.
You laughed a little too hard on that one, man. You laughed a little too hard on that one.
laughing too.
Being honest, like
I was being honest.
staying in good light. Or, okay. I had an affair once, and I don't regret what I got from that affair, but I regret the way that it unfolded, and I will never ever do that again.
So she had an affair. Because I don't think you can hear from her. We haven't activated the other mics yet. But she had an affair. She's not proud of it. She's not, what came from it, she's fine with, but it's not something the way she would have wanted to handle it. It's not the way she wanted it to unfold, and she would never do it again. That's her answer.
So, well, there you go.
Yeah. And we don't have her on the mic today just because she's
cooking. She's out there cooking.
She's
got
doing mom duties today.
4-alarm fire going on out there.
Did you
So-
put them on already?
I did.
Okay.
So question. Okay, and you have to answer. Have you ever had a celebrity crush, and who was it?
Dude, I still have one to this day. What are you talking about?
Who?
Jeez.
I think we've all had one. I think
At some point.
There's so many.
Yeah.
Yes, you
get
can.
a crush on like actresses.
It's like every.
Yeah.
It's like every 10 years you get a new one because.
'Cause they get-
the other one
the
gets
other one get
older.
older?
Yeah, the other one gets older.
Okay, the one that I've always, and I had told her too. You've seen the Friends episode where they have the card of the 5 famous people that they can have a free pass with.
Yes.
Oh,
And-
well, you know me.
Yeah, he doesn't watch Friends. But so they have a card. So Ross and Rachel have a card, and they have 5 celebrities on there that if they ever had an opportunity, they would have a free pass.
Okay.
And so I was thinking about that, and I was like, and so I think I asked Sabrina one time, who would be your 5?
5.
Well, just like you know,
Wow.
you put 5 on a, and you know, and you think about it, it's more dangerous for women because women, somebody could, take them and just go to the back, whatever. The girl's gonna look at you like, bro, I'm a millionaire. What are you gonna give me? You know what I mean? So I don't know.
I'm Taylor Swift, bitch. I don't deserve you.
So who's your celebrity crush right now?
Just one, not 5.
Yeah, we're not gonna ask for 5. Just give me one.
Rip.
Rip
Oh, Yellowstone. Rip
know that
from Yellowstone.
from Yellowstone. The dude, the dude that comes out on
Oh, he comes out on Days and Confused, right?
Days and Confused. Well, he comes out
Oh,
on
that
Fast and
guy,
Furious
yes.
2.
It's much cleaner.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know he came out in Fast and Furious. I
Yeah, he
know
was-
he came out in Days and Confused.
Fast and Furious 2. He was the guy that
was
was
the-
embedded with what's her name?
He was the villain in that
The
one.
villain in that
Nah, I
one.
didn't
Yeah.
watch. I didn't watch. Yeah, I don't
Wouldn't
like
recognize
those
him.
movies.
He came out in the Breakup. He was one of the brothers.
Oh, yeah.
He was one of the
For
brothers in the
real?
Oh,
Breakup.
yeah.
Yeah.
With Vince Vaughn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really?
it was Vince Vaughn, and then you had
Holy shit! I didn't
the
see that
other brother
movie.
that owned the business, and then the
Yeah.
third brother was him
The third brother was the pervert.
with the
man.
pervert. Yeah, him. That was him.
God, I gotta watch that movie
Yeah.
again, dude. There's
Talk about your
something
brother.
else.
He's a pervert.
Come with a kick drum. Come, kick drum. Fool yourself.
What's yours?
Cranky.
You want to go like 50s, 40s, 30s, and 20s?
Hey, you pick one of those. You pick whichever
Because
one you want.
if you go like our age, you gotta go.
Why
You gotta go
why
with some
are you
height.
always
Yes.
pick-
I already knew he was gonna say something high. That's why he said it. You're gonna go 50s, 40s.
even,
Like
even to this day, what is she? 55.
55, I think. Yeah.
Something like that.
And I saw her on Instagram the other day, and I had to change it really quick because holy sh!
Some height.
Oh yeah.
I had a flip. Oh, flip.
Yep. You go 40s, you gotta go Jessica Alba.
Yeah.
No,
Or Shakira.
not a fan.
Or Shakira.
You took my answer.
Yeah,
you
I
go.
figured.
You took my answer.
Shakira.
Yeah, Shakira for
Yeah.
me,
Or
man.
even Sophia Viagra.
Well, you know what, man? Okay, you know what though? Hold on. No, I
Sofia Vergara?
I thought the best she
Sofia
ever looked
Vergara.
was in Four Brothers.
I think she still looks
Yeah.
like that.
Or that
No,
in that
she's
one
older.
episode of My Wife and Kids.
And Zoe Saldana, now that we're watching the show.
Oh, Zoe Saldana too, man.
I don't like the way she
Really?
looks in Lioness.
So little.
And yeah, she just looks, and I don't know, she looks. I think she looked
There's
better
some, there's some
in
movies in that she does.
yeah, I think she looked better in what was that one?
Colombiana.
Colombiana, yes.
Well, I think
Colombia.
Sofia Vergara, like basically in any episode of
Modern Family?
Modern Family.
Even when she was pregnant.
Yes. She was a hot preggy. But yeah. Okay. Yeah, Shakira's been for me has always been
Yeah,
my
Shakira. I forgot about
numero
Shakira.
uno, man. And she's going out on tour, and she's coming to San Antonio. Son of a bitch.
Who?
Shakira.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Selena Gomez. I think she's been
Dude.
one of mine.
I don't know. I'm not really about Selena Gomez.
Even now,
I think just because to me it's like she's more attainable than a lot of the other ones that you know what I mean. I think you'd really have a shot with her over any of the other ones that we're
even
mentioning
the way
right
she
now.
looks now,
Yes.
that she gained,
Yeah.
a little bit of weight.
Well, she gained some in some of the right places too. So
Yeah.
I just still like that one video of her pulling her little Spurs jersey.
That was her when did she just break up with
With Justin
face?
Yeah.
Jerk face.
Yeah.
I wonder what who Diddy's favorite crush is.
Well, we were mentioning we were like Selma, Shakira, Selena Gomez.
I told you.
See that face?
Well,
Oh
it-
wow!
So I was telling them, I was like, when you,
So young.
yeah, but yeah, I mean,
we could go younger.
What,
if you want.
Selena Gomez? Sophie Rain.
did you ever see that one comedian that that one comedian that Roger's always talking about, the one that's real dark. He just came out with
Yeah,
a Netflix special.
yeah.
There's a video of him. I just saw one today, and he goes, I don't have a porn addiction. I have a healthy addiction to porn, right, or
Yeah.
something like that. He goes, but I walked into a bar one day. He goes, and I see one of my favorite, like my porn actresses, and she's at the end of the bar by herself. So I call the bartender over, and I tell the bartender, hey. He goes, let me have another beer. And that girl over there at the end of the bar, she shouldn't be in here because she's only 13. I was like, wow, I didn't see that one going there, man. I didn't see that one going there. I was like, dude.
That's funny,
And,
dude.
and everything, like, just his deliverance, bro, because it's just so, like,
yeah.
straight face.
straight face,
Yeah,
yeah,
he's
yeah.
funny, man.
He's all you're able to vote at 18, but you could drive at 16. So my problem was is that if you're able to drive, if you're able to be responsible enough to drive at 16, then I should be able to have sex with you.
That dude is out there, dude. Okay. Let's throw another one out there. Where is it? Okay, what's the craziest rumor you've heard about yourself?
I've had a few.
I don't know because like I've never really heard rumors about me because people keep it real quiet.
They're always quiet around me.
For some reason, they're always quiet around me.
Look at all these rumors.
Oh, I have
surrounding
one.
me every day.
I have one.
I think that's why I asked, because I know Louis has a lot. That's why.
Yeah, I have one, though, for sure. So there was this dumbass.
Oh, I was hoping you'd say that.
So there was this
She already
dumbass
knows.
that so where we used to go to church at, right? This one guy that he used to go there. One day, I started seeing his stories on Facebook and Instagram, and he's calling people out from the church of things that they've done, like just throwing out their business out there, right? And I'm looking, I'm like, what the heck? And I'm showing her, look. He's calling out this person and this person. And yeah, a lot of the stuff we knew about certain people, and it was like, bro, just because they're in the church doesn't mean that they're perfect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But throwing all this stuff out there and throwing their business, all of a sudden my picture comes up. I'm like, what the heck?
He posted a picture.
Yeah,
of you.
he posted a picture of me
Wow.
and starts putting like a story on it, like writes all this stuff on it, and it's on his stories. It's not on. He's not posting it, but he's putting it on his stories.
Yeah.
And calls out my leaving my marriage. Calls out
Holy shit.
me being because I'm now with a younger girl. And
Where's the rumor at?
yeah, I know, right? No, get this. Yeah. So get this. So I'm like,
He's spitting facts as far as I know.
And I was like, I know this. Like, you're not throwing anything out there people don't know. Like, what's the problem, right? But Dan comes out and says, "Oh, and I know a guy that says that he was with him at a bar doing coke in the bathroom." And I was like,
Again, spitting facts.
well, I know. I was like, when was this? Because it could have been true, but who? Yeah, and I'm like, depending on what year you're talking, like, I don't know, right? And I'm like, this guy, like, just throwing stuff out there, and I'm like, did it die or what?
Yeah, my phone died.
I got him up here. But I was like, what the heck? Like, dude, just throwing stuff out there. But I'm like, what? Why? Like, why? It's a C.
Oh, yay.
Well, that's the one we're using for the thing. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I can't.
Oh, yeah.
No,
you
it's
have it right
okay.
there.
Don't worry.
She has one right there.
Okay.
But it's just like, but why? Like, why throw it out there? But still, I was like, okay. So a guy says that he did coke with me in the bathroom. I'm like, who is the guy? And then I realized I know who it was because I remember seeing this one guy, and I'm like, I know who he is. And it's him asking me, hey, do you know where I can get some? Yeah, bro. Yeah. Matter of fact, let me take you over there, and here you go. This guy right here. Hey, let me make the introduction, and y'all handle y'all's business. But then all of a sudden it's me over there, and I'm the one doing it. I'm like, this guy, man, come on, bro.
Oh, man.
So yeah, that was one of them, man. So this guy was an idiot.
Hey, throwing everybody under the
Huh?
bus.
Mine was relative to the mistake that I made, but it was before all that mess happened. I had heard that I had been doing that mess before it even happened, which gave me the idea because it had not crossed my mind before my affair. There was a secret or like what is that, a rumor going around that the affair had already happened.
Hold on, you need to come over here and say it. You need to be on this.
Okay, so before
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back.
I'm here. Never claimed to be perfect. I made my mistakes, but my rumor that I heard about myself was spread before I found out. Before my mistake was made, the rumor existed, and so that thought never crossed my mind until I heard the rumor, and then I was like, you know what? It was unfortunate the way it happened again, and there's nothing that I don't condone that, and it's not a good situation, but it happened. But the rumor was that I had an affair before it even happened. So
you just followed up on it.
I just was like, oh, all right.
Well, they already think that. Let me just follow through with this
It's a challenge accepted. No, I'm just kidding.
challenge.
Just kidding. Okay. And now yours.
Oh, God. You know, man. I'm trying to think of one. Because I don't know. I'm sure there's one. It just has to. If it doesn't come up like.
High school, college.
Oh, in high school. In high school, like people thought that I was with certain girls that I had never even talked to.
Mine when high school was everybody thought I was conceited. That was.
You know what?
I could see. I wasn't there.
Even at when I first started working,
Yeah.
you know, where I was at.
You know, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I think a lot of people used to think that way because of the classes that you would take, right?
No, I had a lot of reject classes.
Recheck.
Because of the classes, which one? Sex ed?
Yeah, dude, I had pre-algebra, man. Come on,
But-
Mick.
But I mean, or maybe it was just me because I always figured that the people that took those classes were always kind of like, you know.
No, man. I think it was the crowd we hung out with. You know, I hung out with mainly the baseball team.
Yeah, well, jocks. Yeah,
I hardly talk to any other group. I mean, why would I? I mean, I just never put myself out there to talk to anybody else. I just
Right.
stay with in my little, circle,
yeah.
my little circle.
Yeah, that was the one thing that somebody said, "Oh, I heard you're talking to Bone," so I'm like, I ain't even been near that girl, and I don't even know who she is.
Yeah, I was
you
rumored
know?
to talk to a bunch of different people too in school. So
So we got a group. Oh shit! God damn it! Here comes that. What was it called again? Molston.
Molston.
Salute to Molston.
it's good, man, when it's cold.
Whew.
It's like warm apple pie.
Yes,
Except if it's from Sam's.
unless it's from Sam's.
Man, fuck that pumpkin pie, bro. Fuck that pumpkin pie. I suppose we should. I mean, I don't know. Did y'all think of some of these questions or no? Because
I never saw any of them, so you're getting what
can
Cranky likes to say, a blind reaction.
Yeah.
pretty much. Well, here's one that I thought was funny because I know Cranky and I would always say something like that. Do you live to work
Or work to live.
or work to live?
We work to live, I think. Because I don't live to work.
Well, yeah.
I do a little bit of both.
There are some people that
Always.
their life is their work.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes.
So
But I had to like Sabrina, for example. But she's still going to school.
yes,
Right.
Yes.
So there's a certain level of concentration. Like
Yeah.
you have to dedicate yourself to that.
Yeah.
Because she's going through that.
Yeah.
But like me, honestly, I don't work to live. I mean, I don't live to work. I work to live.
Well, and I guess you can see it a few different ways, right? Like so Sabrina said, I think we do a little of both right now, especially at Coach because there's some goals that we have and we're trying, to reach them. And so, but, when I think about like older people, like I think about my parents,
Yeah.
they don't have to work, but they do because they feel if they're not, then they feel they're going to go downhill.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever keeps them active,
Yeah.
That's
You know what I
what
mean?
That's what usually happens. To
yeah,
me.
and they work to live because it's keeping them moving and active rather
that
than
makes a
just
lot
being
of
at
sense.
home.
That's a good spin.
That makes
That's
a lot
good
of sense.
spin. I like it.
Instead of just being at home, and then now they're just kind of deteriorating just at home.
Yeah.
And when they're out, they don't have to work. My mom, you know what she does? She works for the South San District, and she's a what do they call them? I guess a monitor.
Like a classroom assistant.
The classroom monitor, classroom assistant.
yeah.
So she goes and covers for the classroom so that the teachers can have their breaks.
Yeah.
And so she handles the classrooms and she's handling all these little kids, these little badass kids.
Little fuckers.
Yeah, we're like pinch them, freaking hit them. I don't know, giving her problems, right? And then my dad can never just be home. So like he's already retired like 10 times. Retired from the Air Force. Then he went to reserves. He retired from the
He
reserves.
tried them all.
Then he went to Saha, retired there. Then he became a caseworker, retired there. Went to go work at the BX, retired, left there. Now he's like, dude, just to stay active, he goes to the V, which is his spot that he drinks at all the time, and he goes and works there in the morning and go cleans up in the morning. He's like, dude, just to do something, because he doesn't have to, but he's like, one, it's extra money, extra, I guess, drinking money, extra gambling money, right? For
I'm
buying
giving
tickets.
I'm giving it right. You don't have to pay me. I'm going to give it right back
I'm
to
gonna
you.
give it right back. So he's just creating this tab, But I mean, it's just something for him to do, and so I can see where people they work to live because they don't want to just be at home.
Yeah.
And other people, of course, they live to work because they have to. You have to. So I can see it. And like Sabrina said, I think we're doing a little bit of both right now, but it's just because there are certain things that we want to get.
Yeah, and our end goal is
The end goal, yeah.
working to live, really.
Yeah.
And ultimately passive income, so we don't have to work at all and just live.
And just live.
Passive.
Passive income.
Yeah.
Yeah. Need to buy some property. That's what we need to do.
Some oceanfront property in Arizona.
Yeah.
That is George. That is George Strait. If you didn't know.
But there is no
Oceanfront
Yeah,
property in
Arizona.
Arizona.
I just barely snapped about that one.
It's a
What
George
the hell are you
Strait.
talking about?
You don't
man?
remember that song?
I remember that song, but what? There's no ocean in Arizona.
We talked about the pregnancies. We
Yeah.
talked about current events.
We talked about the Twin Peaks shooting. We talked
Yeah.
about, just going back to that really quick, the Twin Peaks shooting.
Okay.
17 years old. Shoots this guy. I'm sorry, but with all that's going on, and I don't know if y'all have like the Ring or whatever, the app, and you get all the notifications from your neighbors and all the stuff that's, they're breaking into these cars, and I see these videos, right?
Yeah,
I get those all the time, right? I'm just thinking, like, at what point are they going to allow people to take justice into their own hands? Because they tell people, don't. So then we're just supposed to let them take your stuff?
Well, I mean, if the consequences are what the result was to this guy, what the hell?
Yeah, but he didn't have a gun. He's not going to take a gun into Twin Peaks. So he's walking out. He's unarmed.
I know, and that guy. I mean, I'm sure he probably didn't know that guy was.
Yeah, the
but
guy was armed.
nowadays you gotta. Freaking,
Everybody's armed.
You
bro.
have
gotta
to,
assume
you
that
have to
everybody's-
assume that everybody
You
has a
know,
gun.
that's why when
Yeah.
when you're in the car and somebody cuts you off, you yell. But when you get next to him, you're like,
Especially if they're next to you, flipping you off and telling you stuff. Yeah.
you know.
I mean, dude, and you've heard, like, literally right here on 151 and 410 and 151 going to 90, there's already been, like, 3 shootings, and one of them, like, a lady and her daughter, they were shot by a guy that they had road rage with.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm thinking, dude, like, everybody has a freaking gun. But I'm sorry. I mean, at what point do you... To me, I'm like, if somebody takes justice into their own hand, they shouldn't be charged. They shouldn't be...
If it's your property.
Exactly.
property.
It's your gun. It's your car. It's your house.
Like if you're able to shoot somebody that breaks into your house,
Yeah, why can't you shoot
Yeah.
them if they're
Or,
getting to your
yeah,
car?
right.
That's your
That's your
property.
vehicle.
you know,
But
that's
there's
something you work to live for.
Yeah, like we literally. So we have a friend, a girl that we know in the pool world, right? She literally just got a car a few weeks ago, and she lives in an apartment. Her car, she comes out in the morning and her car's on blocks.
Oh.
They literally took her tires and her rims, and it wasn't only that car. There was like 3 cars hit that day. You know,
And another one this past week.
and another one this past week. So I'm thinking, like, dude, I don't know, man. Like, you're just supposed to let them.
Yeah.
It's affecting your insurance. It's affecting your money. Yeah, there's the victim's claims, thing that you can do and all that and get some of the money back. But still, like, it's resources that you're having to, you're having to fork out of yourself. And it's just, dude, it's frustrating, man. It's frustrating. And it's, again, you hear about it. It's these 17-year-olds, 16-year-olds,
Yeah.
teens, early 20s, going out there, not wanting to work, so going and doing this crap. You know what I mean? It's just frustrating, bro. It's frustrating. But anyways,
And we've talked about
I'll
that
buy
before.
soapbox.
And not only that, he's 17 years old. How old is he gonna be till he goes on trial?
exactly.
Probably 19.
Another 2 years at least, probably.
Exactly.
A year.
You know.
Yeah, and he's gonna be on just like the kid the one that was shot by the SAPD at the McDonald's in the news again. Why? Because he's not supposed to be driving,
But
he's working for DoorDash. And then the reason they busted him, he shows up to his probation, and they ask him, "How'd you get here?" "I got dropped off." "Yeah, really? Because there's video of you driving in."
I saw it.
And the lawyer says, well, he doesn't get the big picture, and he's dealing with the PTSD of being shot, and there's always an excuse.
Yeah.
Bro, you literally, after all that happened, you had 2 times of evading arrest, and now this. Like, this is a kid that doesn't.
I saw the YouTube. The judge has her YouTube thing, right?
Yeah, Judge Boyd.
She covers all
Yep.
all her court proceedings.
Yeah, she does them on YouTube.
So she streams them live, and we saw it. I was off. Was it Tuesday? Right,
Yep.
yesterday.
Yep.
So yesterday morning he was there, and they got the doctor
Yep.
that apparently had been seeing him.
Yep.
That she just kept saying, well, because of the PTSD and he's not getting like the whole picture. Like he's afraid to trust people, and he's afraid. Motherfucker, you got into a car. You weren't supposed to drive. But you got into a car anyway. That's the rules.
And
Like,
if you
she
think
could have
about-
sentenced his ass to like 10 years.
And if
she
you
wanted
think
to.
about the original reason why he was shot, was because he was evading the cops, and they caught him a day later.
A day later. But I mean,
Now what happened?
That's something we don't. I don't know if you can prove or not.
No, okay, but what happened to him again shouldn't have happened. It was unfortunate.
How it
Whatever.
happened, right?
But you already see the string from before, after again, and after again. Like there's obviously a
Pattern.
here, and it could be mental, right? There could be something wrong,
Right.
which now they're going to put him in a facility that they're going to be monitoring him throughout the whole time. But I'm like, bro, this guy has already shown a pattern from the beginning, from before being shot.
Yep. Yeah.
Didn't the cop get fired? They got that shot.
Dude, he's being put on trial this week, I think,
Oh, is it?
or this month. Yeah, for attempted murder.
Yeah, that's completely separate from what happened. But yeah, I mean, but you know, they're always gonna try and find somebody that's gonna be on their side.
Yeah, yep.
And you know, and the doctor just kept on that. You know, oh well, you know, he don't trust nobody, and it's PTSD, and she just kept on and on and on. And then when the state started asking her questions, they were like keeping her to one answer. Like,
Yeah.
they would ask her, well, when was the last time that you saw him? Well, I was seeing him for about a year, but then okay, thank you. And then they were just going, like, they were not letting her
Explain.
answer anything. And then his attorney he got pissed off, and he's like, Your Honor, like, I object, or whatever they say. And he's like, can we let the doctor answer the questions? And she's like, well, yeah, we'll let her answer this question. But the state was doing their job.
Yeah.
Like, they just wanted an answer, and that was it. But
Yep.
she was just trying to go and go and go and go. And then they were like, nope. They kept cutting her off. But so what was the outcome?
They're gonna keep his probation the same. He's not supposed to drive unless it's for work now.
Oh, chinga.
Yeah, which I was telling Sabrina. Okay, so he can get a DoorDash and like Uber, just turn it off and just be driving around.
Yeah.
There's ways around it.
Yeah. I mean,
But they're gonna do that, and then they're putting him in this facility, I guess, to monitor him for a little while, or whatever. But I don't know, dude.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Unfortunate.
If you ever get a chance to watch her videos, though, they're
I've
funny.
seen them.
Yeah, the Judge Voight.
Matter of fact,
Voight-
wasn't your
My brother was on there.
yeah her brother
yeah.
Sabrina's brother was on one
I
of one
probably
of her
saw it. No, no.
Probably did.
Judge
Yeah.
Boyd.
Grand Theft Auto.
yeah Boyd yeah.
And she there's videos that other people make of her stuff.
Yeah.
But on the days that she has court, which is, I guess, almost every day.
Yeah, she
but
streams them.
She starts like at 9 a.m. and she'll stream it.
Yeah, so
So-
people
so you
people get her stuff and they like do clips.
Yeah, and they'll chop it up.
and they'll
Yeah,
chop it
yeah,
up and
yeah.
do videos. Yeah,
Yeah, and there's some stupid people. out there. I mean, there's no doubt there's some dumb.
bro,
people
I
out
watched the
there.
A&E freaking court cam and all this, dude. It's fuck. It.
She's come out on there.
Yeah, she has. She's come
Has
out on
she?
the
Really?
court cam. Yeah.
There's this one dude. He's in Texas somewhere, but he like if I could dress up like this dude, I would. But he's like real flashy suits, like circular glasses, kind of nerdy, and he's a judge. I mean, he's somewhere here in Texas, and he speaks Spanish, and he has a lot of people that go into his thing, and they're just real quick TikTok videos, and he's telling them, and he's like in Spanish. Get te dijo que what did I tell you was gonna happen if you drove? Like, but
Yeah.
he'll tell them in Spanish, and they'll be like, porque I don't know. And he go, what did I tell you? Like, if it, and he's I'm saying he's saying in Spanish, and then he's like, 3 años en la cárcel or whatever, and he's like, that's right, 3 years in jail. Get him out of here. And like, holy shit, he like didn't play around
Well, it was
with
like
it.
the one that
he
you
was
sent
like,
us
bam,
about
bam,
the
bam.
3 kids that were going 100 and something
40
miles an
Yeah,
hour.
that guy,
That's
that
him,
guy.
right?
That
Yes.
was a guy.
Yeah, dude. So, yeah, and that's another one, man. Like, there has to be. I really feel like, okay, look, you work with people that you can see you work with, right? But then you have these that are just out there doing nonsense.
Stupid.
Those are the ones that you have to put. You have to hold them accountable. You have to. There has to be consequences
Yeah.
for them to realize that it's not a game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's the thing. Like, a judge has to be able to
Yeah.
balance it out. Like, which ones are you going to work with? Which ones are the ones that you got to be hard on? it's just tough because then you get the ones where you go in there and you're one that probably should be worked with,
Right.
and they're hard on you because they probably had a string of I don't know how many.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that dude, that particular one, like the one that I sent y'all, he was hard on those, like, right? Because, of course, they deserve it, right?
Yeah.
They needed to because they need to be taught a lesson. But there was another one where he started asking the state the questions, and he's like, okay, tell me what the police report said. And he tells them what the police report said, and he's like, he's just there shrugging his shoulders. Okay, and they're like, well, Judge, he was, doing this and that. Okay, but can you prove that it was him? And they say, well, no, there's no video evidence. Well, okay, well, there you go. There's no video evidence. And boom, and he just let him go. And it was that, but that's what I'm saying. He, if he sees that,
Yeah.
okay, well, they're not doing their job, and okay, you're done. Get out of here,
Yeah.
and let him go. But the people like that, like those idiots, probably driving Hellcats.
Yeah.
Stupid ass. Anyway.
You hear that?
Oh, because he's buying me a Hellcat.
She wants a Hellcat.
Don't. Then you're gonna be one of the ones that I hate. God. Had to do with you cutting me off and driving on the shoulder and God.
Oh man. Yeah. One more question.
You wanna do one more?
Do one more. We'll end it
All
with
right,
one
let's
more.
do one more. If I can log into this stupid iPhone. Hey, what's going on here? What are we doing?
Yeah, it was in there.
Whoa.
It was on ours.
Where? Sorry, difficulties. Technical difficulties. Okay, we're back. Okay, so one last question. Now, I want to ask this question, and you don't have to answer it because it's kind of in the feels.
No, you gotta answer it.
But if you don't want to answer it, you don't have to.
Okay.
Lame. Boring.
I gotta find it though. Damn it, where is it?
Was it in that one or the other one?
No, I think it was this one. It was kind of along the lines of
Can I find it?
no, I can't. Oh, okay. So like I said, you don't want to answer it, you don't have to.
Yeah, because
Says-
you're gonna answer it.
What do you want your final words to be?
Okay. What do you want your final words to be?
It was me. It was the CIA. That was White Man Can't Jump, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't me. It was the CIA.
The original White Man Can't Jump, not the
So,
fake one.
I had saw that question and it made me think, and I know that Cranky had kind of said something along those lines, and I started thinking about my dad. And the only reason I was because I don't remember
Yeah.
what his last words were, or if he directed anything towards me, or if he said something. Because I'll be honest, the last time I saw him, he had a mask on, and basically he was motioning that he was ready to go.
Yeah.
So I never really heard him utter anything.
Well, so here's where, and I know we always talk about, we take the question as is, right? But where I would maybe make a change is, so we're going to say, of course, what we would want our last words to be. But when we're thinking about our loved ones, it doesn't have to be their last words actually said, but maybe it's something, one of the last things they told you when they were able to speak to you. What was one of the last things? You know what I mean? Because honestly, like when you think about it, if you're talking about us and saying what our last words, what we would want our last words to be, it's going to be whatever last words that we say to anybody, it's going to be that impact to them. And it could have been something that was said a week before you passed. It could have been something said a month before you passed. It could have been maybe that day. It could be anything. But it's just when you think about it, you think about the words that were the last words that you remember that was an impact to you. You know what I mean? So when you say, okay, what would you want your last words to be, right? what would you want your last word to be?
I mean, you wouldn't. I mean, I don't know because
Depends on the situation on how you're.
yeah, it depends on the situation if you're suffering or
'Cause it-
not.
'cause it
I mean,
could
you
be-
could just go instantly and you don't have no last
it'd be,
words.
oh shit.
Yeah,
That could be your last word.
My
could be your
granddaughter's
last
words
word.
right now.
Right.
you know.
Blackfoot?
So, but I'll tell,
Yeah.
I'll tell you this, man. Like I the same thing. I got the same situation as Porky. Like I didn't get to hear my dad's last word because, you know, the last time I saw him, he was already getting sick, and then 2 weeks, and then he's in the hospital, and then I never see him get out. You know, but for some reason, I remember my grandfather's last words to me, and to this day, I'm still trying to figure out what they mean. You know, because my grandfather was in the same situation. He was hospice, whatever. So I don't know if he was what's it called? Like
Medicated or
no, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Kinda, yeah.
Or if he knew what he
Sane
was
or
saying,
delusional or
you know.
yeah.
But he tells me, he says, "There's too many girls in the world to spend your money on just one." And to this day, I don't know what he meant by that, you know. But those were the
But
last
Frankie's
words.
been trying to figure it out.
every day,
Obviously, I'm not taking his advice.
every day, Grandpa. Trying.
You know,
Paying people's bills.
I think I already put 3 of them to college.
That's fucking
Daddy issues.
Sabrina, what would you want your last word to be?
I probably
Come speak into the mic.
I don't know. I'm one that shares how I feel about those that I care about. Like those that I care about know that I how I feel. So I don't feel like I'd have to spend my last moments telling them like, hey, I never got to tell you this, but I'm proud of, which is usually what people are waiting for in their deathbed with their parents. I feel like I'd probably crack a jokey joke like, I left all this money and like, and then like I left a treasure chest full of $1 million underneath, and then and then just leave everybody on a good like laugh and like they don't know whether or not I was serious. You gotta leave on a high note.
Yeah,
On
but
high
some,
school.
yeah, but some of them are gonna be like, where?
Yeah.
Where?
Clear.
She's gotta do not resuscitate. I don't care. Oh man, Louis.
Oh, I think the same thing, man. I honestly, I think I share what I have to when I have to. But I think I think if I had to say anything like last, I think it would be directed more towards the kids. My parents know, you know, how I feel, so I tell them all the time. Sabrina knows too. Me and her share every day, you know, tell her how I feel. I think the kids, it's more the kids like a lasting, you know what I mean, something lasting. So, you know, so for the boys, for my 2 and for my bonus 3 over here, it'd probably be like, you know, be the man that we've shown you to be. You know what I mean? Time to step up, time to take responsibility, and time to now show the world what you can do, right? And the girls is, hey, respect yourself, know your worth. You know, there was a saying that I saw today, and I wanted to share that. I share it like with the family. You know, every so often, maybe once or twice a week, I'll throw like a quote out there, and I'll share it to the family, so that way they start their day. And there was one today that I saw, and it said, "Don't wait for somebody to show you your worth." Something like you need to know what your worth is. You know what I mean? Already, like, don't let somebody else tell you what your worth is, because they might not value you for the way you are.
Right.
Know what your worth is, and you live that, right?
Yeah.
And I think it would be more like that towards the girls, because the girls, obviously, they're the ones that are most of the time looking for that validation. Not saying the guys aren't, not saying boys aren't either, but girls, you know, and letting them know like, hey, your validation doesn't come from somebody else. It comes from yourself. And I think maybe just something like that towards the kids.
Yeah.
But for anybody else, I mean, I pretty much tell everybody how I feel. So
Well, if I knew how long I had, right? Because, like Cranky said, we don't know. It could be today, it could be tomorrow. But if I knew, I would try to give, kind of like you say, try to give each one their own time and talk with them and let them know everything's going to be okay. I love you. It's kind of hard, and then I know Cranky, and I always tell Cranky, well, you can't change the question, right? You can't change it, but in that sense, you know, when you're on your way out, which really sucks, but we're all gonna have to go through it. That I wish that I could set some time up aside with each one and just give them a moment and talk to them and let them know and tell them exactly what Louis said. Just show them and let them know how it's going to be, what they have to be, and how it's going to look from this point on. And then I'm not a serious person,
yeah,
as you can tell. So I would probably say something dumb, right? Something stupid like, all right, I'm coming to see you, Ethel, or some, like Sanford and Son,
Son.
like, yeah, this is it.
This is the big
This
one.
is the big one. But yeah, I mean, I would be really serious with those that I cared for, but I would probably say something stupid. Probably something that was like, what? Why would he say that? And then figure out my whole life trying to figure out what he meant. People trying to figure that shit out.
So the saying was, there will always be someone who can't see your worth. Don't let it be you. So know your own worth.
There you go.
Right. But yeah, I think so too, man. I think it would be more of a, like, trying to keep it on a light note, like,
Yeah.
laugh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I know. The one thing I remember, and I'm trying not to drag it on, but the one thing that I do remember on the last days with my dad when he was, just kind of realizing what was going to happen. And it didn't happen right away, but he knew. And I remember the some of the things that he always said was, I'm tired. I'm just tired. And he kept saying that. That was like his thing. Like he kept saying, I'm just tired. I'm just tired. So when people get to that point, it's like, yeah, he knows.
Yeah.
And I hope and pray that when I get to that point that I'm able to take it as easily as he did, knowing, what was coming, because he didn't have, he
yeah.
didn't. So yeah,
I remember when my uncle Mando passed away. He couldn't talk at the end, but he wrote on a notepad. And the last thing, and I have it on my Facebook. I have it on my cover. It's my cover photo, and it just says, "Tell them they did good, and that I love them." And he was just talking to the family, It was just and so it was something that I shared. Like at his funeral, I'm the one that kind of gave the eulogy and stuff, and so I shared that, and so you remember little things like from certain people, you know what I mean? And some of them are going to be funny, and some of them are going to be, serious, and that's why I tell you, like, when we talk about people's last words, again, it might not be something they said the day they died or the day before. Like, it could be something that when they were able to speak consciously and something that you could understand, and
pacifically,
right?
Yeah.
Pacifically,
Specifically.
yes. So, and like Cranky, his grandfather, I mean, I think those are words to live by, man.
I haven't been living by then, man.
I'm still trying to figure it out. I have
know.
no idea.
He's working hard. He's working double time right now.
He's searching it on the AI. He's like, what does this mean? Well, that was good, man. I mean, ending it on a serious but high note.
Serious but high note.
So, anything else? Anything? Cranky? Last words?
No pun intended.
Yeah, no,
Pardon the pun.
Any last words?
Oh, that's it,
Yeah,
man.
that's it. Sorry, John.
All right.
We'll get to you next week.
Oh, apologies to
Yeah,
John.
We'll get to you next week, sir.
Hey, maybe we'll take the microphone to you.
There you go.
Yeah. Let us know when
Do a
you're
quick interview.
Let us know when you're having one of your chingaderas. What are they called?
Yeah,
the
cornhole.
cornhole thing. Yeah. Let us know. And Pup, be there too, so we can ask you some questions.
Yes.
Fuck it, invite Hooch. Yeah, invite
And
Hooch. Have a little party.
Andy, and do a whole standing reunion, man. Damn.
We need to get Cuauhtemoc over there too. Cuauhtemoc. All right, dude, and that's it. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you guys later.
Thanks.